He was encouraging them that if they could rise up, they could overrun the police and the army. Was he saying that in accordance with the Constitution, or he was saying that knowing that he's breaking the law? The same person I saw was the Honorable Rutamaguzi on camera, encouraging people.
There's an order.
Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Daudi Kabanda from Kasambia has made a heavy-sounding allegation. He has said that my presidential candidate told people to overrun and I think attack police and the military. Does he have evidence to that effect? I'm hearing some voices that yes, he did. You don't shout from there, you speak on the microphone.
No, we have the army. The army have want to say something.
Yeah, but Honorable Speaker, you're always telling us this is not a market. People should seek permission and come to the microphone, not screaming from wherever they are seated. Huh?
Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, can he table that evidence of my presidential candidate saying people should attack police? I don't know where he gets that from. If he cannot table that evidence, he's certainly out of order in my view. So I would like to implore you, Right Honorable Speaker, to condition him to table that evidence before going on with those heavy-sounding allegations. Because we have always been for the protection of our men and women in uniform. Our government has even promised to pay them better than you people are paying them. How can you then say we want to attack them? Right Honorable Speaker, if he cannot table that evidence,
you know,
let him withdraw that statement, Right Honorable Speaker. Because we can all make allegations here.
Honorable LoP.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker.
You know, we cut him in between. I did not hear the whole statement.
He had finished that statement.
No, he hadn't. I wish I could hear the whole statement. Then
Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, he has, and that's why I rose after he had made that heavy-sounding allegation that my candidate told people to attack police officers. Let him table the evidence or withdraw.
Honorable LoP, I want to hear the whole statement, then I will ask him to give
it of the nationality platform. The videos are there. You are not the speaker. Let me address the speaker.
Please continue.
The same presidential candidate, the videos are there. If you give me just 20 minutes, I produce those videos to the clerk.
Go and bring
the same person said, and he was encouraging the young people of this country that they should use social media, TikTok and YouTube, to see what happened in Nepal, what happened where, what happened in those countries where they broke the laws. You can also use it in Uganda to overthrow the government without going through the constitution of this country. Madam Speaker.
Honorable Kabanda, that's a very, very serious statement. That's a very serious statement. That's number one. Number two, those allegations can bring this country down. And we cannot allow as a country to be brought down by just mere people who want to stand. Can we have that evidence? Give us, go and bring, I'm giving you 20 minutes. No, 20. Yes. Next item.
Right about our candidate, that he said, when these machines don't work, you'll not vote. We didn't ask for evidence. He did not table any evidence.
No.
Can he table the evidence?
The presidential candidate of the NRM has not said that. I said it was a hearsay. If they are talking about it, it's a hearsay. If he had written it, and he does not, he's not responsible for elections in Uganda. It is Electoral Commission that is responsible to carry the elections in Uganda. So leave my presidential candidate.
Honorable Speaker, again I saw the IGP talking about some of their officers being assaulted, some pushing and shoving. I saw a video which the police displayed, a very problematic video, a female police officer who was being pushed around by some people. The IGP said those were our supporters. I don't know where he gets that from, whether they had tags or whatever, but look, anybody that commits an offense, that person should be arrested and prosecuted. As, you know, and it's the same narrative they're using. Some of them hail stones and so on, and they say we have videos. I say, look, if you have seen and recorded somebody pushing a police officer, why then do you have to fire at a crowd? Pick up that person, prosecute them. Honorable Speaker, never have we been on record to say it is okay for police officers to be assaulted. I'll remind the House, Honorable Speaker, in 2022, July, thereabout, there was a police constable called Robert Mukebezi that was shot at by a UPDF officer. He was on duty. A UPDF car got involved in an accident, so he was towing it to a police station. They intercepted him and shot him. The man lost his leg. We kept coming here demanding for justice for Constable Robert Mukebezi. The police abandoned him, his institution of work. The army had done nothing at all. Up to now, that man is still suffering. And we have raised that issue, you remember, Honorable Speaker. So that's to show you that we are concerned about anyone that finds themselves offended legally. Finally, right, Honorable Speaker, this is the final issue. Honorable Speaker, we are getting close to an election. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs in April of this year was here, and he told us that they are going to table regulations on how biometric voter verification machines are going to apply themselves in the upcoming election. He made that commitment. That time they were seeking supplementary funding to purchase more of these kits. And we asked, where are you basing all of this? And he promised here on the floor, April of 2025, this year, that he will bring the regulations. We have 1 month to an election. They keep coming and asking for money, including some of the supplementaries that are going to be tabled. They want money for the voter verification machines. What guidelines are you going to base on? I saw candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He made a statement when he was campaigning somewhere. He said, the biometric machines are what we are going to use mandatorily. A polling station where the machine will not work, voting will not happen. I was a bit confused there, and I want government to clarify. With our network issues, we saw what happened in the last election with the census. These machines, they far to reach areas, including Kampala anyway, and the neighboring areas. Network will fail, usage will fail. So if you say, we are going to use these biometric machines mandatorily, so where they don't work, there is no voting. So what will happen? In Honorable Kazo Chimosho, who is also saying he's targeted sometimes, if they say we don't want this man back, they make sure at his polling stations the machines fail, or any other person anyway. That means no voting will happen.
Thank you.
What happens? But also those regulations, we need them so that we are able to interact with them, punch holes in them, and otherwise. Thank you for accommodating my concerns, Right Honorable.
Thank you. LoP, brutality. I don't think brutality is needed as of now. One thing we are failing to understand, most of these candidates don't have support. When you start brutalizing people, you give them support. They don't have. Me, I've been in the field. They don't have. I am speaking as the second national vice chairperson of the NRM party, and I also want I want to request all parties to respect the regulations and the guidelines that are given. But Attorney General, what LoP raises is really a very serious matter. Maybe you will need to give us information, or government. Now let's first get, because this is about our people.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I want to thank the Leader of Opposition for the information and the issues he has raised here. One, he raised the issue of violence. Nobody wants violence in life. And
yes, there's a procedure matter.
If you allow me later, I will be raising a supplementary issue. But the procedural issue I am raising, the Prime Minister wrote, and she said she will only be represented by the Honorable Nakadama. As far as I see, the Honorable Kasule Lumumba has not changed her name to become Nakadam. So has she now been authorized to come and represent the Prime Minister?
The letter was written to me, not to you. And the letter delegating Honorable Lumumba is also written to me, not to you. So that's why I told her to speak as government. I am the recipient of that letter. It is not for
Madam Speaker, you act on behalf of Parliament as an institution. So we can't have a stranger representing the Prime Minister.
Can I have government, Honorable Lumumba?
Inform the member that I'm Kasule Lumumba Justin, Minister General Duties in the Coordination Office, Lead of Government Business in Parliament, and that is Office of the Prime Minister. I was talking about the issue of violence that was raised by the leader of opposition. I started by saying nobody would love to see violence, nobody would want to experience violence. But when police comes up and gives us information based on what has happened, Right Honorable Speaker, it's the responsibility of the people who are hurt, especially the political party or the individual candidate, to petition the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission calls for a meeting, and if it requires also calling for the government agency that is responsible for the activity or for whatever has happened, then discussion goes on, and if it requires even Electoral Commission bringing out more stringent guidelines, can you do that based on what has been discussed? So I want to request the leader of opposition to raise this issue with the Electoral Commission, because the Electoral Commission will have the time to listen to them and look at the evidence they have, but also call the other parties to also bring the information and the evidence they have. If it is visual, then a discussion will go on and a way forward will be found, and it will inform the decision or even amending the guidelines. But the issue of violence, based on what we have seen, whether it is AI or it's not AI, I would think we should all keep discipline. And if police gives us guidelines, let's follow the guidelines. And we should also not mobilize people to take up the law into their hands, because it is affecting the most innocent. When you see what is happening, in the beginning, before these videos also came up, well, if they are not AI, where people are giving instructions to people to do certain things above the law, certain things were not happening. And even the leader of opposition came here, I was here, and he appreciated. And we also cheered him and said it is okay, let's continue this way. So what went wrong? We should go back to the Electoral Commission and find out, because that is the team that is mandated to bring all of us on table. Secondly, the issue he has raised, but I also want to add that the person who lost his life, Mr. Okero, may his soul rest in eternal peace. But we should also take responsibility at individual level to make sure we remain disciplined and follow the guidelines. And where we see that there is chaos, let's try to keep away, because I can't tell whether he was involved or not, according to, unless police comes up and explains. Another issue he has raised is the issue to do with the police car ferrying people to the NRM rally in Imbarara. Right, Honorable Speaker, I would want to see the evidence he's tabling, because he has not presented any evidence to us. And people put, what does he use to call them NRM? Is it the color they were putting on? Which color was it? Were they Catholics putting on the color for the Catholic Guild for the women? Were they putting on?
Honorable Lumumba, I said I was there. There was no police vehicle ferrying any supporter. Maybe those were the choir members of the Catholic Church. But for me, what is very crucial that he raises is the issue of brutality. That must be handled. Attorney General, that issue must be handled because the people who are being brutalized are our people. But we should also not use our people to go on the front line, to go and demonstrate, to go and do funny things, go on beyond the time, the regulations that are required. We should be responsible enough. And I'm saying these candidates don't have support. Attorney General.
Summarize the issue on violence. I'll just answer the question on biometric voter, which he raised. I'll refer the Leader of Opposition to the Electoral Commission Adoption of Technology and Management of Elections Regulations, SI 1 of 2021, which addressed the issue of the use of technology. So the use of this technology is provided for in the law. So that is sufficiently. But the issues of network and any such issues can be addressed under Section 12 of the Electoral Commissions Act.
The SI that the Attorney General is alluding to, we know and we do have. It's a generic one. And that's why when the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, who is your supervisor, by the way, according to the law?
He is not by law.
The Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, and I insist, who is your supervisor? Here committed on the floor of Parliament and said, look, we are going to table in April of this year that he is going to table regulations with specificity to the biometric voter verification kits, how they are going to operate, who does what, and so on, because that's important. The generic law, yes, technology, we must be able to use it, and that's why that 2021 SI is in place. But a specificity one. And there was a commitment from your end, yeah? And the other clarification, right, Honorable Speaker, the acting Prime Minister has said we should address these issues to the Electoral Commission and not here.
Let's first, Honorable, this is a very important issue.
Okay, we can finish with
Let's
this.
first sort out the issue of the machines.
Whereas we all agree that technology shall definitely improve, mainly the verification of voters on the voters register and coming up with a legit election. The question arises on the following matter that is not legislated. One, like the Honorable Ssenyonyi raised, by one candidate saying in the election that should the machine fail, elections at that polling station shall not continue. Now, that is not embedded within the law. So, not within the law. So, unless we legislate and embed the two, that, because you remember during the other election, the Electoral Commission came out and said when some of the machines collapsed, that now you can go and refer to the manual register. You understand what I'm saying? So, in case that happens, how is the voter, the candidate, and the electoral process? In this case, how would it be viewed?
Can I find out?
As specifically right?
Can I find out?
Yes.
Did the candidate write?
Pardon?
Did the candidate write committing that is what should be done? Or it was just something said?
I think
like,
that's even a great proposal from him if he had put it in writing. But now that
because now it is a hearsay.
None of his representatives deny that he didn't say it. We shall take it that he believes in the process.
So we are debating on a hearsay.
It's not the biometric machines, Madam Speaker, are not a hearsay.
No.
And the issue that if they fail, then what follows?
Honorable, what did he say? That if it fails,
yes,
election should not take place in that place. That's what we are saying. Is that something that was written, or it is a hearsay?
It's not anywhere under the law. That's what we want.
Exactly.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, the management of elections is done by the Electoral Commission. Section 12 of the Electoral Commissions Act mandates the Electoral Commission even to stop an election on election day. Right now, I am telling you, you have sufficient legal infrastructure to run the BVV case. And if Electoral Commission feels that the election should not take place there, it is within the law under Section 12 of the Electoral Commissions Act. So there is nothing to worry about. If I've not heard the President say that, I've not seen the communication from the President to that effect, but the mandate to run the election is with the Electoral Commission. So any issues that you may have in respect to that, you can raise them with the Electoral Commission. But my advice to you is that you have sufficient legal infrastructure to use the BVK machines.
Maybe we also need to remind you that the press
comment on the issue of the games, but I wanted, again through you, to address the issue of the machines, the legal regime, and the BVK machines. Right on Speaker, the learned Attorney General, in the 2016 election petition, was defending Mr. Museveni in the Supreme Court. I was defending the Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi in the Supreme Court in 2016. We were on opposite sides. Always, we had an opportunity to extensively argue this matter, you recall so well, in the Supreme Court. And there were basically two issues. Number one, there was the issue of the legal regime. At that time, there was nothing to do with the legal regime at that time. As we speak now, one of the things you need to bring to the attention of this House, my understanding is that the regulations were brought probably under Section 51 of the Electoral Commissions Act. Yes. And there are two issues there. Those regulations were supposed to have been laid before this House within 14 days after being gazetted. And this House had a right, through resolution, to have them annulled if they so wished. But more importantly, whatever changes or modifications or proposals that any candidate has or Parliament had to be embedded in those regulations. Now, progressively, there are things that are happening that are not adequately covered in those regulations. I'll give you an example. There are stakeholders in these elections, the candidates and the political parties. Machines are being procured, and the stakeholders have no idea at all about where they are coming from, how they are being procured, the kind of technology. Because you remember, even on the issue of technology in the Supreme Court, we did ask. We invited the Electoral Commission, you recall, in the Supreme Court for cross-examination.
Honourable members, can we invite the minister responsible for that docket? And we have it, because we cannot continue discussing. You're referring to Honourable Mao. Can we have a sitting and invite him to be in the House?
Can I now address his thoughts?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So the issues of the BVK, we discuss, if you're okay with the sitting.
Right on the Speaker.